Rudolph the red-nosed fucking loser here. We saw Doctor Strange, Multiverse, the Madness, or whatever. Sam Raimi's back, that's what matters, right? When a big boy director shows up to the Marvel cogwheel of production line movies, you know, there's only one thing you should really look forward to. Is he gonna be able to do what he wants? Is he gonna be able to throw in his own flavor, his own spunk goggly goo? It's not much of a secret that these directors don't have that much power when it comes to like the script, because there's a giant just timeline of movies, and Mr. Sam Raimi here is coming in to a Doctor Strange sequel to a movie he didn't make. That's also fucking how many years apart with all these other Marvel movies, where it's all he can really do is try to flavor up as many scenes as he can. I think he succeeded for the most part.
I can't imagine this movie directed by anyone else other than Sam Raimi. It wouldn't have worked. Like, this is the first Marvel movie, 4 years that has come out. Maybe I'm like, fuck, I enjoyed it. Like, it wasn't the best movie by any means, but I had a fun time.
The last Marvel movie was Ragnarok, that had like that director show up and just spiced everything up, right? But that guy ain't Sam Raimi, because it's not just about, oh, I'm gonna throw in fucking AC/DC in the fight scene. I mean, like, Sam Raimi has camera angles, he has visuals, really just funny, goofy transitions, you know, that makes a movie come to life. A movie like this one that has a really weak script. If any of the previous Marvel directors made this movie, holy shit, this would have been like a 1 out of 10 throw. Just a Black Widow, just a most generic, forgettable schlock. But Sam Raimi took this poopy script with pacing issues and all this, fucking dumped some Doritos Sam Raimi cheese on there, just tried to have as much fun as he possibly could. There was a literal frame rate edit in the movie. Doctor Strange gets like spiked a drink, and they just like morph his face like we do. He's just like,
fuck Disney Marvel forever. But it's actually really cool how much freedom he seemed to have in this movie, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
I just wish he had the freedom to make a good movie, like script-wise. Like, the movie's main problem is the movie. Like, it's just not that compelling of a story. It's not that compelling of a script. The dialogue's all over the place, you know. The pacing, like, it'll rev up, stop. This is what you have to follow. Do whatever you want between, but you have to do this. It has to end this way. CG, I thought was pretty solid. Like, a lot of Marvel CG, there's a lot of blur to kind of hide the shittiness of it, you know. Did the opposite of that. The CG was like incredibly crystal clear. Like, it wasn't groundbreaking amazing, but it was pretty consistent. They also mixed in some good practical sets. Mix that in with, again, the Sam Raimi camera angles, the fucking goofy sound effects.
I gotta give a huge shout out to Danny Elfman here, man. There's a really cool scene involving sounds.
Literally a fight with mute sound. The sound editing of this movie was also impressive. Moments in this movie where there's no sound at all. Like, it just mutes itself sometimes. And I just remember, like, oh yeah, Marvel movies are always so fucking loud. This movie was like okay to get like completely silent, and the transitions between that and like noise and stuff, it was all really well done.
This movie gets imaginative when it wants to, and it looks great. There's one scene specifically where they're going through like probably 20 different ones like quickly, and they're just different, you know, their particles, their paint, their colors, they're black, they're white. This movie exhibited some stuff where you're like, fuck, like, can Marvel come back, and like, can they keep doing superhero movies and make them still interesting to watch?
Color palette too, it's nice and bright, vibrant looking, as opposed to like the drab Marvel movies we've seen of like Black Widow and all that. But it was darker than those kind of movies. Like, it was violent. There's some kills here that are pretty brutal. I was like, whoa, holy shit.
This probably gotta be the most like brutal, not for kids Marvel movies.
Some tense moments, some jump scares, there's a bloody scene, everything's on camera too. Like, here's a movie that's juggling some genres like Sam Raimi typically does with his movies.
Scarlet Witch, I think this is the best she's ever been in the entire series.
It was the first time I've seen her in a Marvel movie where I feel like she wants to be in the movie. The girl, it's just stupid. Like, who cares? You don't care about her.
The action here was kind of, you know, it was fine.
Again, it just goes back to like, oh, Raimi would throw a really cool transition in the fight scene.
Doctor Strange, it's never really fighting. It's conjuring images and shit. So as long as you keep getting creative and non-repetitive, you know, the action can be fun, and that's what Raimi did here.
Cumberbatch, yeah, he's a good-looking boy, but he's like ugly at the same time. Yeah. There was no like scene of him where I was like, man, that was a great fucking performance. He did as good, I think, as he's been doing the other fucking movies he's been in. He's having fun, but that's more of like Sam Raimi probably just teaching him how to have fun, because he hasn't had fun in any of these fucking Marvel movies before. There's scenes in this movie that you just weren't expecting in a good way, and like the way they end too, you were not expecting that.
You begin with it, you're like, I don't really know how I feel about this, and then, cool. I don't need to worry about how I feel about it because they're no longer in the movie.
Like, the ending of the movie, it ends kind of incredibly abruptly. When the movie ended, I was like, oh yeah, well, yeah, this is a Marvel production line movie. Like, there's closure here. It's still, you just end it, you're just like, yo, right. You snap out of like fun of like the Raimi shit. There's a character arc growth for Doctor Strange, but it's minimal. Yeah, so it's frustrating because like, fuck, this movie isn't good, really. Like, in terms of like, you just watch it as a movie, the script and all that, but like, fuck, Sam Raimi just really really fucking carried this shit, man. He really put as much flavor as he
show
could.
it up.
Yeah, Sam Raimi still got the moves.
I'm gonna give this movie, to start off with, a 5 out of 10, and then I'm gonna give one whole fat juicy point to Sam Raimi. So 6 out of 10. If it wasn't Sam Raimi, we've said it so many times already, this movie would not have been the same. None of it would have worked as well as it did. It was Sam fucking Raimi. Just acknowledge it, understand it, and please just like wake up and support it, because fuck.
6 out of 10 for me as well.
Fuck.
Oh.
3?
I can only hope this movie does well in the box office and Marvel gives Sam his own movie to do. Like, give him Spider-Man 4, folks. Like, come on, we can do it. Or Sam Raimi will now have the confidence to go out and just make another movie. He clearly still has his style intact. He still has new ideas, and he still feels fresh. I think you guys should go see it, especially if you're a fan of Raimi. Just keep in mind, though, it's still a Marvel production line movie. And so as long as you understand all that, you walk in just trying to see some flair, seeing if your director boy still got the chops, I think you'll enjoy it.
Oh, hey, what'd you think about Avatar 2?
That was... Thanks for checking up on us. Thank God for you, Sam. See ya.
Bye.
God bless you.
Like, nothing special, but fuck Brie Larson. Like, let me just start that over.
Fuck, dude, what's going on with me?